As you know, Madame Lagarde has been a long-standing friend of Ireland's, both as Finance Minister of France and since her appointment as Managing Director of the IMF. We had a wide-ranging discussion. Obviously, our focus in Ireland is on the steps that we have to take that we ensure that we exit from the EU-IMF programme. We have made a number of important steps forward. Since the beginning of the year, we've sold Irish Life, sold the Cocos and Bank of Ireland. We've made a major step forward in resolving the question of the Anglo promissory note, and we have been able to announce the end of the bank guarantee.
I'd simply like to do in public what I have often done in private, say thanks. Thanks very much indeed. We had a formal meeting after Christine's arrival yesterday evening. We had a meeting in the Department of Finance for about an hour. We reviewed briefly the well-performing Irish programme. We talked about possible exit strategies and the assistance the IMF might be able to provide to us. And we had a short conversation about the progress being made by the Irish presidency, particularly with the finance folios.
One thing that actually Michael isn't telling you is that he has also delivered on his promise to me that if I came back to Ireland, in first time as Managing Director of the IMF, in addition to having all the good work done, the technical review of current issues, he would also offer me a Guinness. So we had the occasion of doing that yesterday for a very brief period of time, but certainly very enjoyable, and that refreshed my memory of how delightful it is to be in your country, to be in Ireland. You know, we try to take a very practical approach to these issues, and it's clear that when households, small and medium-sized enterprises are in areas with the bank and don't really know how it's going to pan out and what the terms and conditions will be for the repayment over what period of time, what do? Number one, they worry. Number two, they save. Number three, they don't invest and they don't hire because they don't know what the future will be. So our recommendation from an IMF point of view is to make sure that that uncertainty is removed and that all the options are explored in order to give people certainty about where they stand today, where they will stand tomorrow, what the repayment terms will be, over what extended period of time when necessary. And I think that assessment needs to be done practically on a one-by-one basis, in other words, taking each loan at a time and reviewing it. So that work is something that we would certainly encourage. And it's good for the banks, but more importantly, it's good for the families and it's good for the SMEs, because then they know where they stand. I've seen this morning the issue of repossession. That would be something that we would push for. Not at all. What we're pushing for is terms and conditions of the repayment defined, made more certain for both households and SMEs. Repossession is something of a last resort type of thing.